All right. Hope everybody's doing okay. We are working on a little bit of algebra 2 here with quadratics. And we have a problem here where we're supposed to solve it. So we're in lesson 2-3. This is the third problem on the assignment, the way I have it right now. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to try to write that as a product of two linear factors that equals 0. And then it's called the zero product property. You have two things here multiplied that equals 0. If I told you I have one number times another number and it equals 0, one of these two have to be 0. And then if these are linear expressions, we can set them equal to 0 and solve each of them to find what are our two possible answers. So that's our basic plan here. And we've been practicing our factoring of quadratics. Hopefully you've worked on those before as well. So I'm going to take this original problem again, write it in its factored form of two linear factors, the q squared. So those are going to be q times q. And then two things that multiply to a positive 4 but add up to a negative 5. They multiply to this but add up to this. So that'd be a negative and a negative. And I'm thinking 4 and 1. So let's check that and see if that works. So you've got your q times your q for your q squared. You got your q times a negative 1. That's a negative q there. You got your negative 4 times the q. And lastly, you got your negative 4 times your negative 1, which is a positive negative times a negative. So that's q squared, check. Negative q and negative 4q here makes 5 negative q's when you put them together with the distributive property. And then we've got that little 4 sitting out there. So that looks like it equals our original problem. Then we use the zero product property that I was talking about at the beginning. These are like two things that I have that are multiplied. And so you've got the first one and times the second one. If you think of those as just being a single number with a multiplication in the middle. So one of them has to be 0. There's no way for two things to multiply and equal 0 unless one of them is 0. So then that takes us to the method for solving this. You just go over and you say, when does q minus 4 equal 0? If you add 4 over, or just do it in your head so that q is 4. Or when is q minus 1 0? And again, add that 1 to the other side when q is 1. And so there's our two solutions. If you wanted to use the rectangle method, you could. Remember, your q squared goes in the corner. The opposite corner is the plain number. And then you multiply those two to the top. You add up to the middle term. And what two things multiply to the top but add up to the bottom? I believe it's negative 4q and negative q. But multiply to positive 4q squared and add up to a negative 5. And then those go in the other two corners. And then you can do the outside of the rectangle. All right. Hopefully that gets you some help in solving that problem. So good luck.